sailed on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got the string.
Sort of randomly ended up here on the 4th day that I moved to Maastricht, and immediately I felt like I was at home. Especially back then we cooked inside, and there were about 100 other students and other people. It was just a matter of luck, I think.
We ended up on the wrong side of the building, and there was the Foodbank still going on. So we stayed a little bit, we stayed for the dessert, and they told us that it was every Friday. So the Friday after, we just went there.
I discovered it from a friend that's quite engaged in the whole sphere, and she's also helping out. I joined a couple of times because I thought that it's a really good idea.
Like every year, if you look at the global production of food, we waste food that is, let's say, grown on an area same as People's Republic of China. So this amount of food that would be grown on the whole territory of China is basically being thrown away. Yeah, we need to get people to this understanding that there is a larger scale of the problem. Because what you do here, right? What we do here is only from one local market. Again, the biggest in the city in the whole week, but it's still a small one. Huh? A second component, which also most people don't understand, is how do you produce this food? This food that is being wasted, it doesn't just come out of nothing. You need to first grow it, you need the resources to grow it, you need the soil to grow it, you need, a lot of times there are being pesticides used to prevent the degradation of food while it's being grown. So basically the soil is being basically contaminated with chemicals in order to grow this stuff, but in the end it's all for nothing.
Actually, now it's a bit different for me. Like, I really feel committed to the food right now because of the meaning of this. We are saving food from the planet, and we just use it and we make an exceptional event out of it.
Yeah.
And we save a lot of stuff, which is now for me the most important part. And we are going kind of against a system that is made to consume more and more and more, and what is not perfect doesn't even get considered as food or as usable.
Well, good food, good vegan food specifically. Also just gathering with a bunch of people that I know, especially since Maastricht is a really small city, it's kind of like a big community, so there are many people that you know, especially people at Foodbank. They're quite unique individuals.
You will get your hands dirty by chopping the vegetables. Usually there will be certain emotion with it, and in the long term you will change your behavior.
Discover like a lot of interesting vegetables and different types of fruits. But once we had some weird kind of zucchini, some Turkish zucchini called okra.
Right.
They're really, really weird, and I definitely don't like them. But it was interesting.
I explained to a lot of people who came from different European cities already how they can actually start the same thing as what we do here also in their cities, because you don't need that much, right? People think it's like a lot of organization. It is, but you don't have to start with feeding hundreds of people per day, per event. You can just start with 10 or 15 people and you slowly grow also as a community.
I think the biggest thing is that it made me think a bit more about food waste in general. I always try to be as conscious about food and food waste. I'm vegan, so in general, I'm used to experimenting with food, and with this, it didn't change really much because I've always been experimenting. I was trying new food, although maybe it did give me a bit of also a push of trying different vegetables and combinations, because you might have got something from the food bank that you otherwise wouldn't have bought, and you're like, okay, I want to try to use this, and then you use it, and then you find a new recipe or something.
A lot of times people don't even know what vegan food is before they come here, because the public picture was for a long time just vegan seed salad. Okay, meat salad, sure. But you can also eat other stuff, and you can actually prepare delicious dishes same as with meat, just without meat, and they will taste maybe even better. Foodbank 1.0 started at the beginning of that decade. Now we are in 2020. This is like Foodbank 2.0. There was an original Foodbank 1.0, which was not organized like this, where we actually just went to the market, brought back food to one place, and then people could take food home. So basically what we do now in the times of Corona is basically going back to the roots. When that place shut down, we actually moved to a cooperation to this place, and then we started actually to first cook a little bit, and then with time we went from cooking for 5 people to 10 people, then suddenly we were 80 people, and we had to move from one kitchen to another kitchen where we could host like 100 people, sometimes we even hosted like 150 people. Nowadays the municipality takes more care of the standards that you need to have, so in the end we actually decided to build our own place, which is their Foodbank space. There we have a proper condition that we actually can cook for this amount of people. But the thing is, if you ask a local citizen who has never heard of Foodbank and what we do, a lot of times was really, so do you eat trash like this? Like, how can you do that? How is this permitted? It's not trash. We don't go to the dumpster and take it out. It's just the food that would otherwise land in the dumpster. Yeah, I think it's the same in any other country, not that it's specific to Netherlands. If you would open some dumpster from some shop, you could see inside a lot of times perfectly edible food. It's just like they are more constricted with the estimated date of the food starts to degrade, or it cannot be sold therefore anymore. Yeah, hopefully it also spreads further from Maastricht, it doesn't stay only with us. But the thing is, I think in the long term this has to change. Like France, they changed the law, so now the charities get the food that would be otherwise thrown in the dumpster. However, the problem doesn't stop because of that. In the Western society, there is like the surplus of food that you can, so available food versus the consumption. It's 100% more of available food than what we can consume as a society. So all the other, so like this amount is all being wasted, and we can try to reduce it. We first have to get awareness there is too much food being, let's say, offered in shops. Here you have Albert Heijn, I guess in the UK you have Tesco, for example. But look, all the food there is like in perfect shape, right? Like, I mean, it has to be perfect shape to attract the customer. So on rational level we know about food waste, but it has to be also the emotional component that you actually change your behavior, and that's what we try to do at Foodbank.